Hello everyone, I'm back with HSA English Marathon, and today let's look at the poem Margaret Atwood's This is a Photograph of Me. Margaret Atwood's This is a Photograph of Me is a powerful poem that explores theme of identity, memory, erasure, and the presence of the marginalized. So it is written in free verse. The poem presents an airy juxtaposition between an ordinary photograph and a hidden tragic reality. The speaker's voice emerges from beneath the surface, both literally and metaphorically, challenging the reader to reconsider what is visible and what remains unseen in historical and personal narratives. That is, the visible one is an ordinary photograph, and what is unseen in historical or personal narrative is that hidden tragic reality. Okay, so let's see the stanza 1. That is, it was taken some time ago. At first, it seems to be a smeared print, blurred lines and grey flecks blended with the paper. So it is about that photograph. The poem begins with the speaker describing an old, unclear photograph. The image is blurry and the details seem to blend into the background. So Atwood immediately draws attention to distorted memory and perception. So the smeared print symbolizes something lost, erased, or hidden. Now, coming to stanza 2, then as you scan it, you see in the left-hand corner a thing that is like a branch, part of a tree. Balsamo spurs emerging, and to the right, halfway up, what ought to be a gentle slope, a small frame house. So as the observer continues examining the photograph, they begin to make out details, a tree branch, a sloping landscape, and a small house. So the poem builds a false sense of normalcy. Atwood uses simple, matter-of-fact language, luring the reader into believing this is just an ordinary photograph. Okay, the stanza 3 is, in the background there is a lake, and beyond that some low hills. So there is more details of the photograph emerge. That means there is a lake and a distant hills. So the lake becomes significant in the next stanza as it holds a hidden truth of the speaker's presence. Okay, so the next stanza is, the photograph was taken the day after I drowned. I am in the lake in the center of the picture, just under the surface. So here is a shocking revelation. That is, the speaker drowned the day before the photograph was taken. So they claim to be in the image, but they are submerged beneath the water. So this moment completely shifts the tone of the poem. The invisible presence of the speaker symbolizes forgotten voices, especially those of women, indigenous people, and marginalized groups. Now comes the stanza 5. It is difficult to say where precisely or to say how large or small I am. The effect of water on light is a distortion, but if you look long enough, eventually you will be able to see me. So the speaker acknowledges that their presence is difficult to see because the water distorts the image. However, they assure the reader that with careful attention they can be found. So the distortion caused by water symbolizes how history and society erase certain voices. The vulnerable people like women, marginalized people. So however, the poem suggests that with patience and deeper observation, these hidden truths can be uncovered. So here the themes are, first of all, erasure and invisibility. The speaker is present in the photograph but unseen, reflecting how certain individuals or groups are erased from history. Then the second is distort perception. The lake distorts the image, mirroring how history, memory, and truth can be manipulated or obscured. Now the third is feminist and post-colonial perspectives. The poem has been interpreted as a critique of gender and racial marginalization, where women's voices, like the speakers, are often ignored. The next theme is life, death, and memory. The poem blurs the boundary between life and death, questioning how we remember the dead. And the last theme is the power of observation. The speaker urges the reader to look closely, emphasizing the need for deeper awareness and critical thinking. Now here comes the literary devices. First of all, imagery. The poem creates vivid, visual descriptions from the landscape to the distorted reflection in the water. Second is enjambment. The lines flow without clear pauses, mimicking the way memory and perception unfold gradually. Then irony. The speaker claims to be in the photograph, yet they are hidden beneath the water, highlighting the irony of presence versus absence. Then the next is symbolism. One is water. It represents distortion, erasure, and memory. And the second is photograph. That is, it symbolizes history and the way reality is documented or misrepresented. And the tone starts as a neutral and observational, but shifting to haunting, melancholic, and unsettling. Okay, so here are some key lines from the poem. That is, the photograph was taken the day after I drowned. So it's a shocking revelation that redefines the meaning of the entire poem. The second line is, I am in the lake in the center of the picture, just under the surface. So it suggests erasure and hidden truths. Third is, the effect of water on light is a distortion. It highlights how perception and memory can be manipulated. And the fourth line is, but if you look long enough, eventually you will be able to see me. So it's a call for deeper observation, reflecting Atwood's feminist themes. Now let's see some of the multiple choice questions. What is the central theme of This Is a Photograph of Me? The erasure of marginalized voices. Second question, what is ironic about the poem? The speaker describes a photograph but is not visible in it. Third question, what does a lake symbolize? Distortion, erasure, and hidden truths. What literary device is used in the effect of water on light is a distortion metaphor. What is the final line? Eventually you will be able to see me suggest the speaker wants to be remembered. So Margaret Atwood's poem This Is a Photograph of Me is a profound commentary on memory, erasure, and the distortion of history. The speaker's invisible presence beneath the water symbolizes the forgotten voices of marginalized individuals, particularly women. So through haunting imagery and layered symbolism, Atwood urges the reader to look beyond the surface and uncover the hidden truths.